first of all, welcome everybody.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you being here. And our theme today is balance. So I'm balancing two computers, and if anything, this pandemic has shown us how easily it is to have our lives get out of balance. So we don't want to I want to reassure you that balance is just not about standing on one foot or two hands, but it is really about balancing our mental body, our emotional body, and our physical body. And trying to, even as we do some balance poses, we'll definitely do balance poses, but I don't want you to get really tied up in the feeling that you have to, make these balance poses fabulous. I'm looking at the trees out there and they're swaying, there's a breeze, the birch trees are bending, sometimes trees fall over. We all fall over in life. So don't get wrapped up and do a lot of self-judgment, especially if you fall out of a balance pose, because that's not what we're about today. What I would really like to emphasize is to bring the breath, bring your focused awareness into each pose, and think about balancing your mind with breath, balancing your emotions as much as you're trying to balance in the pose, and in fact, even more so. So I'll have to go back and forth a little bit to adjust these two screens. And please, email me afterwards if you, couldn't get in or had problems in any way, and I will take those concerns back to Christy at Coastal Retreat or Erin at Willow Street. Willow Street should be the same, so I'm hoping that you guys didn't have any problems getting in. So let's, so today in our poses, what we'll also look at the level. It's not like just standing on one foot or whatever, but balancing like the right side and the left side, the lower body with the upper body, the front body with the back body, feeling the energy of each pose and where we feel out of balance energetically, right? So we'll be looking at all of that too. And again, for my more beginning or advanced beginning students, especially if you struggle with balance, which we all do as we get older. I can't tell you how many times I fell out of Warrior 3 this morning when I was practicing. And I probably will again. So it would be really good to set up that you can have one hand on a wall at times, or a chair in front of you or to the side of you. So, just whatever you need to balance a little bit more easily. And if you do have your two blocks, we'll be using them on the high side a lot. So just wanted to say that. And the last thing I wanted to say, I taught my first pranayama and meditation class yesterday. Some of you had joined, and I see you now. And it's 40 minutes, Sundays from 4 o'clock to 4:40. This I'm doing on my own, so it's a suggested $10 fee or whatever you can pay, or if you can't, you can come free. And I really enjoyed it, and I got some really nice feedback on it. So we'll be doing that every Sunday, and I welcome you to join whenever you can. So let's sit well and bring our energy together. So sitting up on a little something to allow your pelvis to settle more if you haven't already. Inner thighs down, sitting bones back and apart. And then just allow yourself to land until you feel your sit bones firmly on the floor. Lengthen up through your side body as always. Head of the arm bones gently draw back and relax. Relax your shoulders. Upper palate draws back. Crown of your head directly over your pelvis. So feel just your balance in the sitting pose. Does the weight even on the right and the left sitting bone? Do your shoulders feel even? Sometimes we get used to an imbalance until it feels normal. So for a long time, I didn't know that my right shoulder was dropping under, lower than my left shoulder, until I realized that I had an injury on that in my right shoulder a long time ago. And so I always have to really use my attention to bring my shoulders into balance more. Soften your face, close your eyes, bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, please. And please remember that the balance that we seek is not a fixed stability. Those trees are just blowing in the wind out there. It's not about being rigid in any way. So the balance we seek is not a fixed stability, but actually a very flexible learning process. And that learning process, we want it to be a process where we deepen our ability to live in a more peaceful place with ourselves and with the entire universe, with our world. Bring your hands to Anjali. Take a full breath in. Exhale that breath fully. Join me with the sound of Om. Inhaling. Please bow your head to the light of your heart. Release your hands, soft eyes as they open. Come to all fours. We'll start as we often do in table pose and move in a little vinyasa flow of cow, cat, and child. Set your hands well as always. Hug your forearms in towards each other. Outer shoulder blades in. Lift the lower front ribs. Inhale and draw your breastbone forward. Look slightly forward with soft eyes. Pick up the low ribs just a bit. Lift the sitting bones. Pull the sitting bones apart. Wait for your breath. Exhale fully. Round up into Halloween cat as you extend back into extended child. Pull yourself forward on the in-breath, tractioning your hands back. Lift and cow. Exhale. Halloween cat. Back to extended child at the end of your out breath. And just continue on your own. And just really keeping your face soft, even closing your eyes if you choose, or eyes very soft. Just feel how the breath now is helping to balance, as well as to bridge the gap between the body and the mind. Do a few more. If you choose to do any variations in between, go ahead and do that. The breath balancing mind and emotions. Let go of your day, become fully present. Where do you particularly need balance? Body, mind, emotional body. One more. Right. And then coming back into table pose. And now bring more weight to your right hand, right knee back a little bit. Turn the toes of your right foot under and kickstand the right foot a few inches out to the right. Bringing more weight onto your right hand, take your left leg back, pointing your toes towards me, and bring your left hand to your hip. Take the shoulders back, the head back. Press the right hand down and forward. Take the left arm up. Good. Hug your outer hips in and lift the left leg off the floor. Take a full breath in. You can stay right there or just bend the knee. Okay? Squeeze the heel towards the butt. You can stay there, or you can reach back, find your foot, push the foot back into your hand, and open up. So it's like a little, then release and come back. So it's just a little half moon pose. Good, exhale, release back down. Take a full breath in and out. Our first balance pose. Okay, no judgment if you waver, it's okay. Okay, kickstand the left foot, toes turn under, move the left foot slightly to the left, bring more weight onto your left hand, right foot, toes pointed away from me now. Good, take the arm up, head back, shoulder back, and now take the leg up. Little half moon pose. Knee down, half moon. Good. You can just kick the foot back and stay there, or you can hold the foot and open up a bit. And hug the outer hips in will help to stabilize the pose. Soften your face and come back down. Great. Take a full breath in, move back to extended child for just a moment. Breathe into the back body, and then inhale yourself back to table. Preparing for dog pose. Forearms hug in, outer shoulder blades hug in. Lift your lower front ribs off the floor, head in line with your spine. Keep your knees bent as you draw up and back. Bicycle pedal your feet. Notice if you're pretty much in your normal distant dog pose. And notice if it feels balanced. Right. And now walk your feet in quite a bit until maybe you can get your heels to the floor, almost to the floor. Okay, don't forget to mute yourselves. Okay. Okay. So notice when you walk your feet in, how stable you are. Like I really feel strong and stable, but I don't feel any give. I don't feel like I can really lengthen fully. And then walk your feet way out, much more than you usually do, right? And then notice how much more give you have. You can get your head almost to the floor, right? But it doesn't feel stable. And that's not really good for your shoulders either. So now walk your feet in slightly, come to plank, adjust your feet until shoulders are over the wrists, lift your lower front ribs, hug the forearms in, and now pike your hips and go back to dog. Now that's almost a little bit too long for me, so I'm just going to walk my feet in a smidgen until I feel the balance between stability and over flexibility in this case. Okay. So feel where your dog pose is balanced for you, and then extend fully. Now we're going to take the right foot up into a high leg lunge. Those of you that have difficulty with that, bring your right hand next to your left hand, push both hands down, and swing your hips forward as you bring your right foot up. And then place the blocks on the low end with your hands on the blocks. Okay. Pull your outer right hip crease back, right hand to the right hip, turn up to the right for a twisting lunge. Soften your face, breathe. This is a pose we do all the time, so you're probably very comfortable in that. Exhale the right hand down, right? Head in line with your spine. And now go ahead and take your fingers off the blocks, pull the head of the arm bones up slightly, shoulder blades down, and take the arms behind you. Hug the palms in towards each other. Hug your outer hips in. Good. Press the left heel back. Okay. And then release your hands. Step back to downward facing dog pose. Find the balance, front body and back body, not collapsing into the front body, not rounding up into the back body. Left hand right next to the right hand, and now really swing, push off with the balls of your feet, swing your hips forward as you take that left foot right up. Right hand on the block, really push down to activate the serratus, and left hand to your hip. Right. Take a full breath in, head back, shoulders back, stretch up. Great. Take a full breath in, and then exhale. And now take your fingers away from the floor, hug your outer hips in, integrate the shoulder girdle, and press the palms back. Up to the ceiling this time. Push the energy up. Push more back with your right heel. Full deep breath in, exhale, release your hands to the block, step the right foot up next to the left foot. Bend your knees, hands to your hips. Good, lift your heart, draw the sides of the waistline in, navel back towards the spine as that happens without gripping. Push down, rise up. Full stretch. Right, good, and lower your hands to your sides. Okay, just in Tadasana, right, our home base pose. Go ahead and lift and spread your toes. Draw your thighs back so you bring your weight a little bit more into the front of the heel, which happens naturally when you lift and spread your toes firmly. Hugging the outer hips in, and lengthen up, shoulders, upper palate back, and stretch your arms. Now notice if those front ribs are really pushing forward. Draw those front ribs down and back so we balance the front and the back body more. Samastitihi, equal balancing pose. Good. Bring your hands back to your hips. Right? And still balance front and back body. So the back body does not feel like it's being pushed forward, and the front body doesn't feel like it's gripping, but there's much more of an even balance. Right. Okay. So now here's where some of you may need a wall. So I have a wall right here, so I'm going to just demo that. Right now we don't need our blocks. Very simple, right? So stand with all the weight onto your left foot, right? And then draw your outer hips in. You can keep your hands on your hips. I want you to just swing your leg forward and back. And let your pelvis stay pretty quiet here. So just the femur bone is really moving back and forth. Yeah, like so. Good. Now, if you do need the wall, just take your fingers, or maybe even one finger up, and if you don't need the wall, then bring your right knee up and take it out to the side. Could also have a chair in front if you need it. Good. And then back. And then you can either stay there and do that again, or you can slide your hand down and come into Vrikshasana. Our first standing balancing pose, tree pose. You can take one hand or your fingertips to the wall and pull that outer left hip, so you can see what I'm doing. That outer left hip draws in and up. Push the inner thigh into the sole of the foot, and then when you have your balanced, take the arms up into full Vrikshasana. Definitely use your chair or the wall if you need to. Good. Notice how you're wavering. The breath is flowing. We're not in a fixed stability. We're not rigid. Exhale, release the arms down. Good. Take a full breath in and out, second side. So go ahead and just bring all the weight to the right foot. Lift and spread the toes and release down. Hug the outer right hip in. And then just swing, swing the leg back and forth. Breathe and soften. And with your fingertips or one finger on the wall or your chair if you need it, bring the knee up. Bring it up really quite high, keeping your pelvic bones towards the front of the room. Simply turn the knee out to the side and back. Whoops, see, I lost my balance. Because my right foot was the injured foot so long ago, in which the bone has been misplaced on my fifth metatarsal. So balancing on my right foot is much more challenging. Good, you can stay here and just repeat that, or, and if you need the wall, certainly do that. Slide your hand down to your inner ankle. Draw the inner thigh into the sole of the foot as you hug your outer right hip in and up. And then when you have your balance, take the arms up, or maybe just one arm. Whoops. There I go. I'm looking at the screen rather than focusing with soft eyes out my window where all those trees are so beautifully swaying. So that helps a lot. Good. Bring your hands down, release your foot. Take a full breath in and release. Okay, now a little bit more challenging is to do that whole routine on a block. So, or a book, whatever you have. But if you have a 4-inch block, you know, like this, then place it and whatever block you have or book, and place your left foot on it. And now you're 4 inches higher, and my head just disappeared from my coastal retreat students, I think, or was that the Willow Street students? I can't tell, can't remember.
Willow.
Okay, with your hands on the wall, just draw that outer left hip in and up and swing your foot. If you can do this with Lakmano hands, do so. Good. And then lift the knee, take the knee out to the side, take the left arm up. You can stay there, or you can bring the foot into the inner thigh and come up to Vrikshasana on a block. Now notice, those of you that are 4 inches more, notice that the trick that it might do on your mind. Same thing we just did on the floor, but it's a little bit different psychologically when we do it on a block. Bring your hands down, lower your leg, step off, and then adjust the block so you can still have a hand on the wall or your chair in front, and step the right foot. Make sure the heel is firmly on the block. Stepping up, and just swing that left leg forward and back. So remember, we're not looking for a fixed stability, but a more flexible learning process that can keep more peacefulness in our minds and in our hearts. So not to worry if you're not nailing this. I'm certainly not. Good. Lift the left knee. Yeah, and turn it out to the side. You can take the right arm up or not. Good. And then bring the foot into Vrikshasana. Thighs are moving back. Press the inner thigh into the sole of the foot. Soften the lower front ribs. Good. Both arms up, or maybe just one arm up. Full breath in. Soften your eyes. Soften your jaw. Exhale as you release. That's on the front of the mat. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of Surya Namaskars here. So standing in Tadasana towards the front of your mat, just come down for a little Utkatasana. Okay, so thighs moving back, lift the lower front ribs, draw the navel gently and back towards the spine. Good. Now place your hands on your hips or even on the blocks if you'd like, on the high end, and cross your left ankle up on top of over your front knee. You have to really bend that front knee to make a ledge. Good? Great. And now bring your hands to your heart and see if you can balance by hugging the hips in. And then hands to the blocks if you need them, but see if you can step back into Virabhadrasana 1 with your hands on your hips, warrior pose 1, in one fell swoop. If not, use the blocks. Great. Take the arms up. Angel wings for a moment. Shoulder girdle up and back. Ribs down. Head back. Stretch the arms. And stretch the back leg a little bit more. Balancing front and back body. Hug the outer hips in evenly. Balancing right and left side. As much as you're pushing down with your feet, go up with your arms. Exhale, touch the earth, step back, plank pose. Baby chaturanga, knees down. Bring your whole body forward. Keep the ribs up as you come down. Lengthen your legs. Inhale, sweep up to cobra. Soften in your, and right at the base of your shoulder blades. Elbows hug in, forearms hug in. Turn the toes under. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Find the balance for you between your hands and your feet. Here we'll do tipping dog, so you can really feel and be aware of any imbalances in your spine, your paraspinal muscles on either side. Now, step your feet a little wider apart, outer hip width apart. Tip your feet to the left. Press your hands down and forward, both your left hand firmly, your right hand too, and feel whatever stretch you feel in the whole right side of your back, next to your spine. Come up onto the balls of your feet. Tip the other way. Press your right hand down. Take your hips up and back strongly. And press the left hand down. And feel now what's going on in the left side of your spine. If you have a little scoliosis, or maybe more than a little, you should feel, you'll definitely be aware of one side very different than the other. I have a mild scoliosis, and I certainly can feel that. Good. Tip back to dog. Right? And take your right foot up. Again, if you have trouble getting that right foot up, right hand next to your left hand. For more power, swing your hips forward. Okay? And step your left foot up. Uttanasana. Bend your knees, hands on your hips, lift your heart, root down, rise up. Good. We'll do one more from the other side. Right? So take the other foot, that would be your right foot, cross it over your ankle, hinge from your hips. You can bring your hands to the blocks, bend the knee, keep that foot activated. Should feel a nice stretch. This is like a standing number 4 pose. And the more you bend the knee, you'll more feel your hip begin to open. Okay. Great. And then you can take your hands off the blocks or not, right? So modify by keeping your hands on the blocks. As you step the right foot back, bring your hands to your hips, angel wings, side body long, right and left, front body and back body, stretch your arms, and then work on stretching the back leg a little bit more. As much as you're pressing down to the ball of the right foot, press evenly down, through your left foot. Inhale, exhale, place your hands. Good, step back plank. Press the heels back, claw under your fingernails, hug your forearms towards the midline. Either modified, knees down, baby chop, or bring your whole upper body forward and lower through chaturanga, all the way to your belly. Lengthen your legs, press the pubis down. Wait for your breath. Inhale into cobra. Soften your face. Bottom tips of the shoulder blades in, tops of the shoulder blades broad. Turn your toes under, pike your hips back, downward facing dog. Adjust for your balance, finding that balance between stability and freedom. Too much freedom is not good. We don't have enough boundaries, right? But being too bound, too rigid is also not good. So we have to find that balance for each of us, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I think we took the right foot back, so we'll take the right foot forward and step up, Uttanasana. Now we're resting Uttanasana. Bend your knees slightly, hold your elbows. Let your whole upper body just hang. Take a full breath into the back body. Exhale and relax more. And begin to stretch your legs a little bit more if you choose, engaging the back chain of your hamstrings and your glutes. And then hands to your hips. Bend your knees a lot, lift your heart, root down through your heels, rise up, Samastitihi, which means equal balancing. I'll turn to face you now. Right. And again, softening these lower front ribs down, integrating the head of the arm bones into the shoulders, head back, side, right side, left side. As much as you're pushing down with your feet, you're lengthening through your arms. Bring it back to your heart. Take a full breath, a flow of your breath, easing any mental tension, emotional tension. Release your hands. Okay. Good. Take a wide stance. So what we'll be doing is 3 standing poses. 1, 2, 3, actually 4 standing poses, not holding them long. And those standing poses will be, have one of your blocks handy, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior Pose 2, to lateral flank stretch, Parsvakonasana, to Ardha Chandrasana, and then coming back for a brief triangle pose. So, take your legs wide. Good. Actually, let's just open the inner thighs a little bit more with an extended forward wide leg stretch, Prasarita Padottanasana. So take your block in front of you, whatever level you like. Make your legs equally strong, right? We tend to have one leg stronger than the other, one hip more open, one hip more closed. So just get a sense right now. Bring your fingers right into the groins next to the pubis bone. And feel, I've been having some problems with my right hip. I can feel that my left groin is deeper. My fingers go in much more easily than my right. So I'm going to take my right thigh back a little bit more until there's more evenness. Okay, so we make these awarenesses of our imbalances a little bit more conscious. Right. Press your feet down evenly and hinge from your hips. Come down. Bring the hands to the block, or if to the floor, if you can keep length in the front and back body evenly. So not rounding up into Halloween cat, but lifting your lower front ribs up away from the floor. Okay. And then you can stay there, either with your hands on the floor or the blocks. I just want you to drop out to one side and then the other side. Just rock it out a bit here. Pause on one side and really hug the adductor muscles to the bone. So just really make those firm, contracting them up towards the thigh bone. They hook right into your pubis. And then over to the other side and really lift them up away from the floor, hugging them to the bone. Then you'll have more power for the standing poses when we do them. Good. And then just rock it out a little bit more. And then crawl your hands all the way out or onto the block until you're still keeping your outer hips over your ankles, but head is in line with your spine, and you're just really lengthening the right and the left side as evenly as you can. So hands are even on the block or the floor. Hug the adductors to the bone once again. Press down, especially to the center of the heel, the mound of the big and small toe. Legs are super active. And now come back, walk your hands back, either place the hands on the block or on the floor, and lower your head towards the block or the floor. Relax your face. Allow the breath to be that bridge to calm the mind, the emotions, to bring the mind and the emotions into more balance. And lengthen your spine, hands to your hips, root down, rise up. Good. Walk in, toe heel in if you're pretty wide. Great. And then just give a wiggle and a giggle, and release any tension. Shake out your legs if you'd like. Okay, so take a wide stance again. Okay. Turn the right foot slightly in, your left leg out. Take the block to the little toe side of your left foot, whatever level you like. Heel to heel line up, so adjust your feet, really look at heel to heel. Okay. Cross your hands in front, sweep your arms up and out to the side. Relax your shoulders, soften your face. You can see that my shoulders are directly over the hips. Great. Take the right thigh back just a bit as you bend your left knee into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Invoke your warrior spirit, not lunging into the future, but keeping the shoulders right and left side body balanced. Look over the index finger of your left hand. Soften the lower front ribs, soften the face. Bring your left hand to your left forearm onto your knee. Sweep the right arm over the ear, turn up a bit more, and take the left hand to the block or the floor. Right. Now feel your legs. If I'm not really mindful, I will hang in the front leg, right? So I'm going to actually lift that adductor, the inner thigh muscles, up away from the floor and push my right heel back as I my right heel back as I push my left foot isometrically forward. And hopefully you can feel as I do in the pelvis. The right side of the pelvis and the right leg, and the left side of the pelvis and the left leg. Right. Keeping that, right hand to the hip, look down for balance. Here comes half moon. Take a half step up, bring your block or your hand a good 8 to 10 inches in front of you. Flare the toes of your right foot as you come up into Ardha Chandrasana. Keep the adductor muscles firm as you take your arm up. Extend out in all directions. Soften your face, relax your jaw, right hand back to the hip, bend the front knee, your left knee deeply, reach back with the right foot, bring the block back, or you can hold your ankle or your shin, stretch both legs strong and push into the floor with the four corners of both feet into Utthita Trikonasana triangle pose. Soften your face. Navel draws gently back. Lower front ribs soften. Press the feet into the floor, rise up. Turn your feet back to center. Take your block to the other side. Left foot slightly in, right leg out. Block at whatever level you need it. Get in your legs, really feel the muscle energy, hugging the legs strongly. Bring your heels isometrically towards each other till you feel the perkiness of your inner thighs. Keep that perkiness as you take your groins back, and now push the bone energy of your legs down, right? So you kept the perkiness, but now you're really rooting. And as much as you root, you rise, balancing the lower and the upper body. Sweep the arms up and out to the side. Right. Bend your right knee. Good. Feel shoulders directly over the hips. Invoke your warrior spirit. We need it these days, you guys. Our lives are out of balance. But we're, through our practice, can remain much more balanced and let our minds be in more equanimity. Take a full breath in. Exhale. Right forearm down on your thigh, left hand to your hip. Turn up, adjust your stance from your back foot if you want to go deeper. Take a breath here, pause. Sweep the left arm over the ear, turn up more. Little finger side of the hand is down, and no bend in the elbow. And then bring the right hand to the block. And get ready for Ardha Chandrasana. So look down for balance. Left hand back to the hip. Take a half step up if you'd like. Right? And then bring the left leg up. Flare the toes. Hug the adductors in towards the bone. Stretch the left arm up as you're ready. You can keep looking down for balance, or you can begin to look to your left and eventually turn the gaze towards your thumb side of your left hand. Not necessary though. Bend your right knee quite deeply, bring the weight into the heel, step way back. Adjust your stance, stretch the right leg straight, hand on your ankle, Trikonasana triangle pose. Left arm up. Press the feet down, balance the right and the left side of your rib cage so you're not bowing up, but the right femur bone is drawing deeply back into the hip socket, lengthening the right side. Root the feet, inhale, rise up, turn your feet, lower your arms, step back, Uttanasana. If you need a little wiggle and a giggle, certainly do that. Let me close this door. Okay. All right, what have I missed here? Okay. So we'll do eagle pose here. And I thought of a modification. So again, if you have trouble with balance, some days, balance is just off. Who knows? We have a lot of cause for our balance being off these days. If you've got two blocks, you can place them on each side of your feet. If you're using a chair, right, you can have your chair in front. Right. Okay. So let's just review eagle arms. Okay, that's easy. Take your right arm over your left arm and try to get it, into the crease of the elbow as much as you can. And then have your palms facing away from each other. Okay? Bring them up a little bit. And then really focus on pressing the forearm bones into each other. Notice how that affects the back body, right? So shoulder blades are now protracting. And then if you can put the fingers of your left hand into the heel of the right hand. So Garudasana there. Relax your shoulders. Soften your face. Release your arms. Give your shoulders a couple of shrugs. Okay. And then second side. Left arm into the crook of your right elbow. And then with your palms facing away from each other. And this may be it. A lot of times our shoulders are too built up or we're too tight to do much more than this. Even here might be where you need to be. And then if possible, then you bring your fingers into the palm of your right hand, but still really squeeze your forearms towards each other. Notice that really changes things in your upper back. Full breath in, and then exhale and release. Do a couple of shoulder shrugs. Great, good. I'm gonna tilt the computer down here so you can see my feet and hopefully what they're doing. There you go. So not important that you see the rest of me. So if the wall is to your right, bring your left block close to the little toe side of your left foot. And we're going to bend the knees, bring the right knee way high, bring the weight back into your left heel, and cross your right leg as far over as you can, keeping the left leg bent. And then just bring the toes down onto the block, like so. Okay, now hug the outer hips in for more balance. And bring your left forearm over into Garudasana here. Squat down a little bit more. Take the hips back. And then you can stay here, or you can lift that right foot off the floor and hug it in towards the shin, or even wrap it behind the leg, which I can't do on this side with my knee. Good. And then sweep the arms down, lift the knee like the Karate Kid, and exhale and release. No, Garudasana, flying like an eagle. And I imagine eagles have their bad days too. Okay, second side. So make sure the block has been transferred over to the little toe side of your right foot if you only have one block. Okay. Bend your knees. Good. If you need your hand on the chair or here on the wall, then do so. Lift your left knee really high, wrap it all the way as high as you can around, and place the toes on the block. Take your right arm over your left arm, knock down a little bit more, and then come a little bit more upright. And then if you can, hug your outer hips in and either wrap that foot around to the back or just squeeze it to the outer shin. Great. And then sweep the arms up, release the leg, and bring it all back to your heart. And no matter where you were with that, try not to get into judgment. Just let your mind and your emotional body be more at ease. Remember, we're not looking for a fixed stability. We're looking for more a flexible learning process in which we can keep our minds and our hearts more in equipoise with ourselves and with our world. Release your hands. Good. Okay. Now, bring your blocks up to the high side at the front of your mat. Now, those of you that are using a chair, you might want to, or if the wall is close enough to you that you'll be able to reach it with your hands when you come over, like so, or you could put your chair at the top of the long end of your mat, like it would be right there. Yeah, okay. So here, I'm gonna tilt the screen back now so you can see more of me. But I hope you can do a lot of this by simply listening to my words. Most of you are familiar with the postures enough now and the principles of alignment that I use to be able to have a little bit more inner experience. Okay, so Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior Pose 3, never been an easy pose for me or a lot of people. So we're going to just take it really slow, and you can always stay with the modifications. So standing behind your blocks, and the blocks are on the high side. I'm going to bring this down a little bit so you can see my blocks. Okay. Okay. So now hinge from your hips, place your hands on the blocks, walk your feet either forward or back to where you are at a 90-degree angle. Right? Your hips and your upper body are pretty much at a 90-degree angle. The outer hips are over the ankle bone. Okay. Pick up the lower front ribs, press down with the blocks, press down with your feet. Take a breath in to balance body, mind, and spirit. Soften your face. Take the right leg up. More weight will come onto the left hand, but press the right hand down onto the block. Good. Don't have to lift it high, just parallel to the floor. Okay. Now take your left arm behind you, like so. Feel that? And then take it forward. Notice how the lower front ribs want to drop, and we come into imbalance with front and back body. So pick up the lower front ribs here. Good. Bring the hand down. Good. Now take, notice how you're working on your standing leg. Bring the outer left hip in. Take the right arm behind you. Much more weight here, much harder. Keep the back foot really active, and then take the right arm forward. Maybe you have to use your chair or the wall. Not easy. Good. Take the right hand back to the block, lower the left foot down, and stand up. Notice how one side is much more challenging than the other side when we have all the weight, right, to one side. Take a full breath in and out. Take the hands to the blocks. And really lift and spread your toes for a minute. Root your feet. Take the left leg parallel to the floor. Activate the toes. Hug the muscles on all four sides of the leg to the bone. Push the leg bone back. Really hug your quads in. Right. Take the right arm back. Head in line with your spine. Eyes soft, looking down. Take the right arm forward. So that's the easier side. Right? Place the right hand on the block. Right? Push down on the block. Take the left hand back. Whoa. All right. So I'm not going to get upset with myself because I know this is my harder side. And I don't want to fix stability. I want to stay at ease in my mind. Take the left arm forward. Reach and extend evenly in both directions. Left hand back to the block and bring the foot down. Good. Bend your knees, hands to your hips, and stand up. Good. Okay. So now we'll we'll try to do Warrior Pose 3 by taking both back and then both arms forward. You can stay with whatever modification you need to. Hinge from your hips. Place your hands on the blocks once again. And I think we started with the right leg up and back. Is that right? Well, we'll do that. Good. Okay, make the left leg strong. And if you need to bend your knee a little bit here, that's fine. Your front knee, because once your legs, now both arms behind, and then stretch the left leg straight. You can stay there or take the arms forward. You have your blocks right there if you need them. Really hard to talk and do this. There we go. I'm seeing if you can, okay, and then come back. Good job, stand up. So just a couple of different ways to come into Virabhadrasana 3. So second side. Again, please don't get down on yourself. We're not looking for a fixed stability. We're breathing, and if we fall out of the pose, which I've already done a couple of times, see if you can retain the equanimity. That's what's important. Mind and emotional body. Hands on the blocks. Good. Left leg up, parallel to the floor. You can certainly bend that right knee, which is much easier for many folks. And then take the arms behind. Hold. You can come back. Your blocks are right there. Hug the outer hips in, and then take the arms forward. Blocks are right there if you need them. And then if the knee is bent, you can push down and stretch the right leg straight, coming to full Virabhadrasana 3. Or not. Release the hands to the blocks, lower the left foot. Take a wide Uttanasana. Okay. So legs as wide as your mat. Release your upper body. Sway a little bit from side to side. Hands can hold the elbows or be on the floor or your blocks. Good. Bend your knees, hands to your hips. And lift your heart, root down, navel back, and stand tall. Good, well done. Okay. You can also come into Virabhadrasana 3, which we don't have enough time for today, from Virabhadrasana 1, where you actually take a short stance like so, come into Vira 1, lay your rib cage on your thighs, right? And then come forward. Some people find this is easier, right? So you can try that after class if you'd like. Okay, for right now, bring your blocks fairly close to you, but a little bit off your mat. Take your blanket, or one of your blankets, place it up at the end of the long side, and come down onto your backs. I'm gonna have to adjust the screen here, so I'll be on my back. You probably don't really need to see me anyway, but yeah, good, okay. Now just snuggle that blanket up right up towards the tops of your shoulders. And let the head just relax. Back of your skull resting into the blanket. Take the arms just gently out to the side, about 45 degrees. Take your feet mat width apart. Take a full breath in. Exhale, let your knees come down to the right. Your belly, your head will turn just as much as it wants to the left. And then extend your left thigh bone away from the hip socket. So the left buttocks will tone and come a little way off the floor, more off the floor. Adjust your left shoulder blade so it's more on the floor. But keep extending out through that left thigh, all the way to your knee. Another full breath in and out. And if you want a little bit more stretch in the outer hip from the standing poses, you can always bring the right foot onto the outer left knee or thigh, letting the weight of it bring you down. A little bit more stretch right through the outer left hip. A very gentle twist. Inhale, come back, release the foot. Center, full breath in, exhale, drop the knees to your left, head and belly, rib cage, rolls to your right. And then begin to extend from your outer right hip down through your outer right knee. What's been helpful for me, because I think I tweaked my iliacus, which is, well, doesn't matter. It's in the front of your hip. It's a muscle. And if I put my left foot on just above my knee and I push my knee and my lower part of my thigh into the foot quite strongly, push back with the foot, I can contract the iliacus muscle. You'll feel that if you choose to do this. And I think that's really been helping. So I'm knitting the muscles back towards the bone where I think they moved away from. Right. You can also just put your left foot up onto your outer right knee or thigh and have a little bit more stretch in the outer right hip. Whatever feels really balanced for what you need today. And then inhale up. Adjust your spine. Actually, roll to your side. And if you do have two blocks or a second blanket for Shavasana, I think it's easier to find balance in our pelvis if you bring the two blocks side to side lengthwise, like so. And then you could push your second blanket, if you have one, or a pillow or whatever, on top of those blocks, right? And then lying back down. Heels are on the floor. And then come down, adjusting your pelvis, buttocks flesh flows under, keeping a natural arch. So adjust your legs, feeling the right and the left sacrum, mid part of the sacrum, as evenly as possible on the floor. And then what's really nice too, what I like to do, is take the blanket that's under my head and just roll it up just a little bit of a roll under my cervical curve, just supporting the cervical spine. Back of my head is evenly on the floor. Okay. Make any other small adjustments. Palms are turned up, fingers curling back into the palms. Shoulders relaxed. Shoulder blades not squeezing in, but just flat on the floor. I like to lift my upper back a little bit off the floor, and then when I place it back down, kind of feel the shoulder blades slide down a bit, and my shoulders can relax a little bit more. Take a full breath in and let this one out with a sigh. Relax your jaw. Let the teeth slightly separate. Let your eyes drop deeply back into the sockets. Imagine even your scalp releasing. Turn to your breathing body. Feel the natural rise and fall of your belly. The breath rises and dissolves. It's a gentle rise and a gentle dissolving. Let any tension dissolve with each out-breath. Let your mind, by focusing softly on your breath, come more into that place of equanimity, of peace. Give yourself full permission to rest. The balance we seek is not a fixed stability, but a flexible learning process and practice that deepens our ability to live in harmony and at peace with ourselves and our world. Deepen your breath. Taking your time, roll to your side, whichever you have most room to roll. And just take a moment as you draw your knees up and support your head with your arm or your blanket. And just take a breath into the back body. Bring yourselves up and back to a good seat, a seat of balance. So take time to adjust your sitting bones so you feel even weight on each side, to adjust the sides of your body, upper and lower, front and back. Let those adjustments be subtle, but nonetheless there. We have to identify our imbalances first before we can hope to balance them as best we can. And we're not symmetrical beings, so we'll never be exactly the same. The best we can. And much more importantly, as I hope I've stressed, to keep the mind, the heart, and the emotions on that more even keel of peace and equanimity. I think Willow Street is recording this class. So for those of you that could not get on, I have about 4 people who text me that they could not get on. I will, if possible, I will send you the class. I don't think Coastal Retreat is recording. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for coming today, for showing up, for moving through some probably challenging poses. Perhaps not. Some of you probably could have done much more, but you know, we do the best, right? We just do our best, and that's enough. When we do our best, that's enough. I really apologize for any folks, any glitches that could not get on. Please don't hesitate to email me or text me any comments or suggestions. So stay at peace with yourselves for the rest of the day. Take a full breath in. Exhale that breath completely. 1 Om. Inhaling. We bow our heads to our hearts. We lift our heads, open our eyes, and we bow to each other. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming today. And I guess I'll get used to balancing 2 computers from now on. All right. Thanks.